Every time the West Indies slump to another defeat, I pick up a couple books, whether it's Michael Manley's book, The History of West Indies Cricket. You take a look at Hilary Beckel's book, or even Simon Lister's book, Fire in Babylon. And I always go back and I thumb through a few of these things just to feel good about West Indies cricket, the legacy, the importance of what it means to the region. And every couple of months I come here and I make one of these videos where I often wonder, if you read this, it says how the West Indies cricket team brought a people to his feet. And you watch a Fire in Babylon documentary and you hear all the stories and you remember the greats. And I grew up in an era where the dominance started to decline, but it took a while. But you knew Australia was coming. And you move from these stages of talking about the cricket from being the top of the world to bang average, then to some utter despair. And I'm here reflecting on a moment of a 3-test match series that a lot of people need to answer some questions, and it's not only the players. 27 all out in Jamaica in about 14 overs. Second lowest ever in the history of Test cricket. A feeble batting performance. A team that clearly gave up. A team that didn't have any resilience. No batting nous. A coaching structure that, let's be honest, is Darren Sammy the man to lead the Test cricket team? And there's a number of changes that the West Indies president implemented, Keith Shallow. And some of this you want to support, you want to believe in. But the removal of Coach Kohli is questionable at best. That's the decision that I not quite sure I understand. We're talking about a guy who went to the setup, had really good performances in Australia. We saw the emergence of Shamar Joseph there, that pink ball test at the Gabba to draw a series, to win in Australia, something that had not been done for 20-something years. A drawn series in Pakistan. And some signs of there may be growth here. There may be things that we can latch on to. Maybe the England Test series last summer wasn't particularly good. But some of that can also be explained from the lack of cricket, from the lack of acclimatizing to the conditions. But what really gets me in this 3-test match series, and I watch everything. I watch all of it. I didn't do any videos throughout it. Didn't do any watch-alongs. I was a bit skeptical about doing that. I just wanted to see it unfold. The thing that really upset me is we had Australia on the ropes every time they were batting. For the first time in a long time, you could be talking about the emergence of a bowling unit, a fast bowling unit that was working together, but one that at some point you had to ask the question, are they driving fear in the opposition batsmen? You look at Steve Smith, one of the all-time greats, a generational talent, certainly a great of the last era, and him getting nervous. The batsman kind of wondering, this West Indies attack is something to to fear, to respect. And in every instance, they put the West Indies team in a position to be competitive. You go back to the Barbados Test, 7 drop catches. You can't compete if you do that. You're in the match every time you give the ball to Seales, to Joseph. And heck, look at what Alzarri did, finally coming through looking like a world-class test bowler in Jamaica. And anywhere you put it, you look at this bowling lineup of the 2 Josephs, Jayden Seales. Jayden Seales, who is emerging as one of the elite fast bowlers with lateral movement. No one is moving the ball in world cricket like him. And these guys toiled. They took 20 wickets. And then the batsmen lie down. They don't even get a chance to rest. It's one thing to lose to the best side in the world, Australia. Lost in the Test Championships aside, they are the best unit, the best bowling unit, the team that they'll never give away anything. You can't count them out. It's fine to lose to Australia. I don't think any person here would come and bet that the West Indies would beat Australia. But when you have them against the ropes on a number of occasions, and then your chance to bat and you can't do anything about it, it's a sad situation. Because what we should be talking about here is possibly maybe a series defeat, yes, 2-1, maybe a draw. It wouldn't no draws, but maybe we could have pulled off a 1 or 2 victories. Certainly in the Barbados Test, when you looked at it, you had to say to yourself, they were in it. And it goes back to these questions about like what's happening, what really is happening for West Indies cricket. And the selection issues here, it's just utterly outrageous. I don't understand the return of Campbell. I don't understand sticking around with Craig Brathwaite for 100 tests as if we're giving someone a final send-off. That sounds good, but it doesn't necessarily work when the objective here is to develop talent and win. I don't think you can work Shea Hope and have him keep at the same time, especially in a lineup that he's likely to come in really early. He's not sitting around because the top order and the middle order is going to do something fabulous and he can rest somewhat. It's as if as soon as you finish bowling, you're in the field, you're back at it because wickets are coming really fast. Brandon King, all these kind of questionable choices. And King had made some runs, yes. And I don't want to look at the players and just push them aside that way, but there's a lot of questions to be answered. And some genuine test players that you would think we want to work with, they're gone. And I guess you think about the likes of Athenaeus and so on. Maybe he needs a chance to come back in the team. But I just don't know. I mean, on top of playing Australia, the selection of the decision making there is really questionable. Some of the shot selection and the Jamaica thing, I don't get it. They lie down, they just folded, they look meek. And it's an utter embarrassment. It's so embarrassing that Cricket West Indies, the president is sending out SOS signals. He's calling for Brian Lara, Sir Viv Richards, Sir Clive Lloyd to come join Shanda Paul and Desmond Haynes and Ian Bradshaw in some kind of a response for them to be strategic, to think about decision making and all that stuff. I'm fine with that. Will it work? I have no idea. But I just don't understand how you put out a cricket team and that's it. You just roll over and die. At no point in time, Mitch Stark is running through in Jamaica that someone has something of a resistance. Scotty Boland hitting you on a hat trick. He obviously is a great player, probably very unlucky not to play much more in this Australian lineup. But I just don't know. I'm like, when you bring these guys together for a committee, how is it going to work? What is the plan here? And you have a real bowling unit on your hands. There's no question about it. And it makes me concerned that what may end up happening is a situation where at some point franchise cricket will take them away. Because how do you explain like if you're the top order, how are you explaining the batting performance after what you saw with the bowling unit? Imagine the first ball of the day in the Jamaica test, Shamar Joseph comes out, wicket. They scuttle Australia out. The target is large, a 200 target. I'm not thinking the West Indies will make it, but I'm not thinking you're going to make 27. You're going to give it a shot. You're going to make it competitive. You're going to make sure that if you lose with a level of grace, some dignity, some fight. And none of that happens. And every so often you think that progress is being made, and then you wonder, how do you pick yourself up after this? Because you got to play India, you got to play New Zealand, you got to play top class opposition. And this was a moment in the new Test Championships to at least eke out one match on home soil. At least one. Get some points. And in the end, it made it seem as if Australia made light work of it. And they did make light work of it. Because the batting offered no resistance. Nothing you can look forward to. And so the question is, where do you go from here? When I saw the report about asking Brian Lara, Sir Vivian, Clive Lloyd to join the others, Clive Lloyd at 80, he probably would have made some runs. This is the thing. Like, I think some of this is application too. And the consistent asking for patience and a rebuilding, most fans are gone. And if you're hardcore and you're stalwart and you stick around and you get punished by watching a lot, it's really hard to keep waiting and waiting. I just don't know what is going to happen here. I hope it works out. But honestly, someone should get fired. I need to see a resignation. I think Sammy's out of his depth here. I think in a situation where West Indies is a struggling cricket unit, I'm not quite sure one person in charge of all formats is what we need right now. He's thinking about T20 and ODI cricket, and at the same time Test match. And I know that's a lot of cricket you have to watch. That's a lot of players you have to observe. And how big is this team of analysts you have? Something needs to be done. Because ever so often we still develop some talented individuals, and maybe we don't transition them well the best way into the international game. And I think Cricket West Indies, the region in general, the stakeholders have to play a role there. But this is unacceptable behavior. And I'm fine with losing. I don't think anybody came into this series thinking that the West Indies would beat Australia. And the moments in which the guys had the ball and they'd scuttle them out for low totals could have been worse if you held on to some catches, which the feeling did improve a bit throughout the series. It gave you the sense that if they had a little bit of batting in them, it wouldn't look as bad as it is. It's just shocking. Anyway, that's my take. I'll go back to reading some West Indies book, look at the sense of what it means. And yeah, I often do that after a series when there's nothing to hold on to. And it's better than looking at clips. But the bowling unit is the best we've seen since Ambrose and Walsh. It's better than any Fidel Edwards, Jerome Taylor, and even any combination of Kemar or Roach in terms of a consistent setup. The Chanel Gabriels. This is a unit of guys, right age profile when you think about it, to stick around for some years, to do some real damage in international cricket, and some guys coming through as well. But they can't be bowling all the time. They need rest and they need support from the batsmen. And something has to be done about this. As usual, rally around the West Indies.